Hi everyone, it's Becky here, and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. As you can see, it's a very foggy day in Vancouver today. I'm on the bus crossing the Fraser River, which is almost invisible now in the fog. It's been a very warm winter here in the Vancouver area, and the sun is having a sneak peek out of the clouds. We're taking the SkyTrain to East Vancouver, and we're getting off at Commercial Broadway Station. And yeah, and then we need to take another bus to the cafe. So this bus comes every 2 to 3 minutes. And it's nice to see and feel the vibes of the city on public transportations. Yeah, so the cafe is somewhere close by Granville Island and it's on West 7th Avenue. And the name of this cafe is the Wicked Cafe, but there's nothing evil about it. Let's go in. And inside the cafe, it's kind of rustic, but in a nice way. They have a lot of interesting and specialty bakery and dessert items. As you can see here, this fridge has some special ones here. Winnie the Pooh honey jar and that cactus pot. Tom and Jerry cheesecake. Yeah, quite a number of creative stuff here. And the interior design is nice. Here I am. Hi everyone. So I ordered a vegetarian wrap. So I'm gonna eat first and not sketch the wrap. But I'm gonna sketch my cup of latte and Winnie the Pooh pudding. So I'm gonna sketch the jar of pudding first, starting with the opening, which is a circle. Foreshortened into an oval because it's just laying down in front of us. And then drawing the little dipper laying on top of the jar, which is a really cute thingy. And then some little cereal pieces. And then drawing these ridges on the neck area of the bottle. Yeah, for the cap to be securely on there. And the shoulders. Now, I'm dividing the front of the bottle into 3 sides. 2 and 3 is a hexagonal prism. And there are 3 vertical sides of the hexagonal prism that we can see from this angle. So, yeah. The base has 3 bending lines. And then, now I'm trying to suggest the thickness of the base, the glass base. And then use super loose lines to suggest the bending corners. And using these organic curving lines to suggest the layers of peach jam in between the creamy areas. And the horizontal lines of the jam is following the bending sides of the prism. Accentuate the base. And then I'm drawing this cute little metallic spoon for eating the pudding. The opening of the bowl, holding the pudding. And drawing the brim of the bowl. And as you can see, I had an overlapping line, and that's okay. Just keep drawing. Suggesting the shallow inside by using these segments of curving lines. Yeah, all the way to the bottom of the inside of the bowl. And then drawing the contour outline of the bowl's outside. And now I'm drawing the opening of my coffee cup, which is another foreshortened circle, an oval. And the body and the handle of the cup, suggesting the thickness and the bending form of the cup's handle. The little saucer. And using much gentle lines to suggest the liquid line of the foamy latte and the latte art. And now it's time to have fun painting watercolors. And I'm going to get my 2 water brushes ready. I'm going to start using my large tip Holbein brand water brush. As usual, I like to start with yellows first. Grabbing yellow ochre and dilute it a little bit for the first layer of the latte. And I'm using Naples yellow, which is very similar to yellow ochre, to paint the dipper and the cereal. And now I'm mixing cadmium yellow and orange together and paint the first layer for the peach jam, which is more yellowish, the brightest tone that I see on peach jam. A yellow orange, not too dark yet. And now I'm grabbing a higher ratio of orange and even red orange for the second layer of the peach jam, just these little specks. And the previous layer of yellow orange is still shining through the segments of gaps. Now I'm using my Faber-Castell water brush, which has a really refined brush tip for these small subtle bits of painting details. And yeah, next layer for the peach jam, even more red orange or even pure permanent red into the leftover orange, just to give the jam a higher sense of volume and density. And now I'm using the leftover blue violet kind of gray, diluted with a lot of water, to shade the creamy area of the pudding, which is quite tricky. If it's too light, the jar may not look that three-dimensional. And so I'm just adding more heavier shade on the bottom half of the bottle and the base as well. The base has a pretty medium dark tone of gray, but I'm leaving some areas almost paper white to show the shine of the glass. And I want to shade the edge of the glass jar as well, just so it looks even more realistic and glossy. Now I'm adding some retouches of very diluted yellow ochre because cream, yogurt, and butter, they're not paper white. They are of a very mellow yellow tone. Now I'm mixing lime green with yellow ochre to paint the first layer for the green bowl, which is really nice. It's related to Winnie the Pooh story that the honey jar is laying on grass. And now I just mix a bit of cerulean blue into the leftover grassy green color for this analogous colored coffee cup along with that green bowl. And same for the saucer, the tone of the turquoise color is a bit of fade out. And grabbing some leftover blue violet to shade the bottom of this little cylinder of the dipper's handle. And mixing orange and a little bit of burnt sienna together to paint the next layer. This is the second layer for the latte, leaving some of the first layer untouched. And mixing a higher ratio of burnt sienna into the previous mix for the third layer. The brim area of latte is usually the darkest part of brown. Yeah, adding a bit of accentuation of darker brown and let it fade out in the wet into wet technique. Now it's time to intensify the color of the green bowl. So this is the mix of Viridian green and a little bit of burnt sienna. So the little gap areas between each row of the stripe inside is a brighter tone. Now I'm actually painting the shadow of the jar landing on the inside of the bowl. So I mix a bit of cobalt blue into Viridian green and burnt sienna. There's also a shadow from the handle of the spoon. The lower part of the bowl is shaded. Intensify the shadow with even more cobalt blue. And now intensify and higher up the saturation of the coffee cup and saucer by mixing cerulean blue with some leftover green, using cobalt blue and permanent violet to paint the shadow of the cup landing on the saucer. Nice and loose. Yeah, so sometimes shadows may not be dark silhouettes with hard edges. The edges could be fade out. And now I'm painting the shadows of the bowl and the saucer using leftover blue violet. and shape the spoon. Here's the look of my finished sketches of my pudding and latte. Moving on, I'm going to sketch the people in front of me. I think they're very nice models sitting for a while. So I'm going to sketch the two men sitting at the table close to the back wall, starting with the shape of the hair and then the contour outline of the profile of the face, eyeglasses, collar, and the arm and the hand in very lively gestures, telling a story. Yeah, so same idea when drawing this second man here, starting with the shape of the hair that I see. This man feels like a musician to me because of his long hair, like Beethoven's hairstyle. Yeah, so the contour outline of the face is traced out based on my seeing, and then I just drew the eyebrow, the eye, and wrinkle on the cheek to give him age, the neck and the collar, and suggesting the strands of hair using loose curves, and also made the eyebrow a little thicker for man. And his hands are kind of like crossed a little bit in a foreshortened angle, drawing the shape of the jacket and the legs in sitting posture. The curve of the back is always something like this, not a straight vertical line down, and just giving these two men their cups of coffee. And now I'm drawing the little branches and leaves of the bamboos in these jars on the table. And now I'm ready to draw my main character, the man sitting facing me on the other side of the round table. I just drew his headphone, color it with solid brown ink, and his short hair. Attach his eyeglasses in between the headphones, and then his eyes looking down, typing on his laptop. The shape of the notes, and a peaceful smile. The shape of his head, and the shape of collars could come in many different kind of shapes. Shoulders in a relaxed gesture, the back of his laptop, and his coffee or tea in the black paper cup. Now I'm drawing the post of the lamp. So starting with these two vertical lines, and then now I'm drawing the stack of brochures, of stickers. And these are the merchandise items of the cafe. Yeah, so basically these are rectangular prisms on top of one another. And drawing the hole in the middle of the round table, and finishing the details of the lamp post. This is at the top of the lamp post holding these lamp heads in cylinder shapes. Now these cylinders are hanging in the air. We can see the bottom of these cylinders, but not the top. And yeah, I like to color in those black things with solid brown ink, and then drawing the metallic spirals, loose surface details on the post. Now it's time to draw the tiles and pictures on the back wall. Vertical lines and then these horizontal lines intersecting. And the table where the two men are sitting at is all the way to the right, close to the window. And there's another house plant over here. So just summarizing these leaf clusters with these quick squiggles. And there's like a bookshelf over here close by the window, finishing the edge of the round table, the flower pot. And now I'm drawing this ornamental cloud made of artificial cotton and some real or fake plants dangling from it, which is really a nice add-on to this sketch. And writing down the name of this cafe, Wicked Cafe. Yeah, such a funny name for a cafe. So here's the look of my finished line work. It took me about 30 minutes to draw these men and the simple interior backdrop. And these tiles on the back wall, they are of very muted colors. So let's see how I can make it more interesting. So I'm starting this kind of underpainting color using diluted yellow ochre just to give a bit of warmth for the interior. It's kind of dark in here. And so I'm also using lemon yellow for the lamp hood areas. And for skin tones, I like to mix orange and permanent red together, diluted with a lot of water for this peachy color. Yeah, just apply it loose and gently over these faces and arms and hands. And for this dark-haired man, I'm using raw umber or Van Dyke brown, using diluted Van Dyke brown to shade these men's white hair. And now it's time to paint these tiles. I'm starting with these muted browns, mostly actually the pure colors. These are not the muddy colors. These are the pure colors from the Mungyo palette, like olive green, olive brown, Van Dyke brown, diluted a little bit with water. So the colors, sort of tones are not way too intense. Now I want to have some warmer muted tones, like orangey brown ones. So I mix orange into Van Dyke brown. And yeah, so I think I need to balance out those cold muted tones with orange. I also want to shade some of these tones a little bit colder with cobalt blue and permanent violet mix. This part is shaded. Yeah, the lower part of the wall below the tabletop is shaded. In between the shelves. And for the protagonist's outfit, his sweater, it's kind of like a bluish tone. So just using cobalt blue and Prussian blue, using the leftover blue-green violet mix to paint his black laptop. Some yellow-green for the houseplant. And for these dangling little leaves from the fake cloud, bamboo leaves. And shade in between the cavities of leaf clusters, those hollowed areas, with shaded green. And this cafe interior also needs a bit more warmth, and these little specks of red helps. And grabbing some leftover bluish gray to shade these little sticker books, the headphone, bridge, and another layer of slight little shade for the man's sweater. The window is on the right, so the left side of his body is a little bit more shaded. Cobalt blue for the jeans, higher part is brighter. And using pretty intense blue violet to paint this man's shirt. And this intense coat tone is really helping to push out the pudding jar from the page. Yeah, and then just shade this man's jacket a little bit more with concentrated blue. Shadow under the chin and shade the hair on the left side. A bit more shading for these white hair. Lamppost is kind of like a muted brown. Playing with layers and brush marks of light to darker values of brown to paint the lamppost so it shines in the lamplight. Yeah, and some final polish, last bit of shadows on the wall, and that's very much it. And that's another 30 minutes to paint over the drawing. Here's the look of my finished sketchbook page spread at Wicked Cafe. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. And it's always such a great experience exploring these locations in person, on site, rather than working from photos. I learned so much more about the world and humanity by working from real life observations. And I will see you around in the next video very soon, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.